Welcome to Back on Track, your employee assistance program from the Gateway Rehabilitation Center of Western Pennsylvania. Back on Track EAP has been contracted by your employer to provide full, broad-brush, confidential help for any personal problem negatively impacting your family life. It's not easy being a grown-up in today's hectic world. Just getting to work every day, paying the bills, and being there for our partners, spouses, children, family, and friends is overwhelming. Individuals are finding themselves responsible for both their aging parents and their adult children who continue to live at home and need their parents' support. More grandparents are raising grandchildren than ever before. Widespread casinos are increasing family gambling problems. Individuals face loss, human or pet, without support. And post-traumatic stress disorder is affecting returning veterans, fire and police departments, and survivors of all types of violent crimes. The problems impacting families have no socioeconomic, race, religious, or geographic bias. Finding helpful resources can be daunting. For every good therapist you're lucky enough to find, there are several others who are little more than paid friends. If your current help is having limited results, Back on Track EAP can at least offer a second opinion and point you to other clinical and support options. Statistically, 1 employee in 4 could or should take advantage of their employee assistance program. Nationally, estimates are that 51% of all EAP calls are substance abuse related, 20% psychiatric or mental health, the rest fall into life adjustment disorders. Studies report that employees are generally on the job for 10 to 15 years with a serious problem before they'll face discharge or fail a fitness for duty or post-accident drug test. By that time, the employee has alienated coworkers, deteriorated on the job, and frustrated and infuriated supervisors and HR. Your employee assistance program, Back on Track, is available to you and your family 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, through a human-staffed helpline and a robust website that contains articles, webinars, short self-tests, and stories of interest on hundreds of topics. All voluntary calls to the EAP or hits on the website are held in strictest confidence. No one's name or identifying information is shared unless requested by the client to get approval for time off for treatment or FMLA paperwork. If we get a report there were 25 hits to the website, we don't know if it was one person who accessed the site 25 times or 25 different people who each went to the webpage only once. If you check out the website with your company user number and type any issue into the search box, a list of resources will emerge. Type in gambling and you'll find everything from "Are you a compulsive gambler?" to "How to win at craps." Type in kids and video games and it offers articles on how to get your kids off electronic devices and back outdoors, along with how to play Angry Birds with your youngster. We have yet to find a topic not covered on this site, but if you do, let us know and we'll get resources on that topic to you within 48 hours. All voluntary callers to Back on Track are offered free confidential face-to-face evaluations with a Gateway evaluator at any of our 9 locations, or with a remote evaluator selected by our clinical team. Sitting with a therapist to discuss the issues in your life allows us to make better recommendations for support. Mandatory referrals are initiated by HR or top management when and only when an employee has failed a drug test, triggered a post-accident or for-cause test, or progressed through discipline to a discharge or last chance agreement. In those instances, releases are signed for your employer to notify the company if the employee is non-compliant in contacting us within a specific period of time, showing up for a scheduled evaluation, and following recommendations. Our goal is to continually increase the voluntary use of the EAP program and to continuously improve the quality of the service provided. Being part of a licensed drug and alcohol treatment center offers 4 key benefits. Because most clinicians and physicians get little if any training in drug and alcohol dependence, we want Gateway evaluators to do the initial evaluation. They're far more likely to identify complications from substance abuse. By utilizing our Gateway-trained or selected evaluators, we ensure greater evaluation consistency and quality control. Gateway, as a licensed drug and alcohol treatment agency, is bound by the strictest laws on privacy and confidentiality. By law, we can only release information to your employer when necessary and with your consent and written releases. And as one of the last nonprofit providers in the field, we are focused on mission, not profit. All of us know someone with a family problem, but most of us are uncomfortable bringing it up or offering help. At work, we find ourselves covering for a troubled coworker. At the same time, we're angry that they do little work, yet still pick up the same paycheck and are rarely held accountable. Because so many of the problems we see build on themselves, it means that a decision to do nothing, hoping the problem will resolve itself, is in fact accepting responsibility for letting the problem get worse. Yes, there are short-term dips in performance from grief, divorce, or situational stress that might be resolved in time. Our hope is that employees and their families will seek support for those situations, as well as chronic problems that continue to overwhelm the person and their loved ones. Today's problems seem to be more complex. Depression leads to self-medication, which causes family problems and financial distress. Today's drugs are more addictive and harder to interrupt. Sorting through the presenting issues is both science and art. Back on Track EAP cannot promise to get it right every time, just as we do not promise that patients leave treatment and remain healthy 100% of the time. We know for certain that most of these problems are progressive, get worse without intervention, and that a decision to do nothing is in fact a decision to allow the problem to get worse. We are waiting for your call. You can reach us at 1-800-566-5933 or visit us at www.backontrackeap.com, because we all can use some support sometime in our life.